Hey guys, it's Amy. Welcome back to the PWR Network. Today we're diving into the latest updates on the Stephan Sterns trial. The guy who is literally shackled but armed with a pen. You can't make this stuff up. We're heading straight into the start of the Maddie Soto trial this month, and let's just say the updates are weird, the antics are ramping up, and word on the street, a plea deal might just be on the horizon. I'm going to roll credits while the rest of the PWR crew rolls in. And of course, shout out to my dragonflies. Love you, babies.
I was standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. I told the Undertaker, please drive slow, for this body you are holding, Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by?
Okay, guys. So, hello, everyone. And as you can see, we're talking about the Stephan Sterns case. Stephan is charged with he faces two separate criminal cases in connection with the unaliving of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. His abuse trial is happening this next week. Jury selection is scheduled to begin on July 22nd, 2025, with the opening statements ideally starting on July 25th, 2025. The trial is taking place in Ocala County, Florida. Or is it Osceola? I think it's Osceola. Sorry about that. The Schmurder trial is currently scheduled to take place in September of 2025. How's everyone doing today? Let me. Good morning, Ron. Hi, Crystal Burns. Are you guys following? So I take it you guys are following this case. I lost kind of sight of it for a while, so I'm doing a little catch up. I'm going to do a catch up this week and leading into it because I do plan on covering the trial. I even hope to go to the courtroom a few days and be there and cover it for you that way because it's not that far from me. Before we get started, if we could start that algorithm dance party that I like to do, just start warming up your fingers and dancing them up to the hearts and thumbs up button. Today, we're coming to you on Facebook, YouTube, both of the YouTube channels. I didn't mean to send it out to my second YouTube channel. Let me fix that really quick, you guys. I accidentally sent it to my Feel Good University, and this is supposed Feel Good University is supposed to be about good stuff, not Stephan Sterns crappy stuff. So let me fix that. I'm gonna add Twitch. We usually stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So that's what we're going to do. So welcome to everybody on Twitch. If you could just show us that love, however you do it on the platform you're on. Greetings, Scout Inquirer. Big hugs back from New York, back to you in New York. I'm in Florida, actually. So as I was saying, I'm really hoping to pop into this case next week. Or, I mean, I'm sure it's going to go on for a few weeks. So I'll probably plan on doing it not the first week, but the second week. But we'll see. All right, so let's get started. Let me get my screen all situated. and we will get going. They've changed some stuff around down here in StreamYard, I'm seeing. So hold on. Let me figure out how to share my screen at this point. Huh. They changed the little emojis in the backs behind for the creators. Okay, so the latest updates on Stephan was yesterday. He was back in court, and sorry, that took me a moment to get that together. I really do apologize about that. He was back in court, and he didn't want to be shackled. He wanted to wear human clothes, and he needed a pen. He wanted a pen. So let's take a look at the results of all of that.
13-year-old Maddie Soto was in court this morning for what could be his last hearing before he does go on trial.
And Stephan Sterns is accused of abusing Maddie Soto for years and killing her the day after her 13th birthday party. As West 2's Bob Hazen reports, a judge made rulings today.
I have a very strong feelings about people who, man, what are the words? I got to think of the words, the right YouTube words to use for this topic. I don't usually cover this stuff because I have very harsh feelings about people who take children's innocence. I feel like they're worse than unalivers because they're stealing children's souls. So that man deserves, if there was ever a D penalty, in my opinion, he deserves it just for that alone. So, but what are your feelings on, I like to weigh the room. And there are no right or wrong answers here. You can, feel however you want to feel. I just give you the information, and I just, we're free thinkers here. So however, I might not agree with you and you might not agree with me, but I can get along with you. And respect is the name of the game. So what are your thoughts on this Stephan Sterns? I always like to start it out because I like to know what my audience is thinking, because it's the whole reason I do this, because I don't want to sit here alone in a room thinking about it myself. I want to think about it with you guys. So tell me what you're thinking.
What Sterns will be allowed to do during the trial.
That trial is set to start next week, and we now know that Stephan Sterns will have to wear a leg brace to keep him from running away. And the judge also raised the possibility of having to close the courtroom.
Does Stephan really strike you as a person that would run away? He doesn't strike me as a runner, but I don't know.
At certain times.
You
can hear the shackles clanking as Stephan Sterns walked into court this morning, but when a jury sees him next week, those cuffs will be off. A court deputy testified today about the other options to keep him on.
I also am warning you, I have very snarky, heavy GenX humor. That's how I deal with this type of thing. I might become a bit aggressive towards Stephan. My GenX, I might lean into it. I tend to lean into Chris Watts. I just, I take my snark out on the people that I feel deserve it. So if you hear me laughing or whatever, it's how it's how I deal with my anger, my sadness, whatever. It's my form of coping, and I would rather laugh than scream and cry about it, because that's what I would be doing if I wasn't laughing. So just so you know, there might be some snarkiness to this because I don't know any other way to deal with it.
Under control, including a stun cuff they could use to shock him if he tried to run, or a leg brace.
I would say rather a bit more cumbersome because it's strapped alongside the leg of the person. And if they stretch their leg, it'll snap shut.
The judge ruled Sterns will have to wear that brace. He'll also be able to use a felt pin, despite concerns that it could be used as a weapon. Sterns is facing 2 separate criminal cases, one for allegedly murdering 13-year-old Maddie Soto, who was the daughter of his girlfriend. The other is for 60 charges that he raped Maddie for years and recorded video of it on his phone. The trial for that sexual abuse case set to start next Tuesday. Prosecutors warned the court that they will be showing those disturbing images and playing those videos for the jury, and they'll use a TV or a whiteboard to do so.
the state intends to utilize the whiteboard in an effort to prevent other individuals that do not need to see that evidence.
The judge also said it is possible they might need to clear the public from the court when those videos are played, but did not make a ruling on that. Jury selection for that sex abuse trial is set to start a week from Tuesday. The murder trial right now is scheduled to begin in September. Covering Osceola County.
Osceola. I've got to say that a million times before I'll get it. Let's see what you guys are saying. And what do you guys think about him getting a pen but having leg brace? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me, but let me see what. I just came over to your original channel. Oh, did it? Yeah, it came up. Sorry, it came up on Feel Good University. I wasn't even paying attention. That's my channel that I like to do that feel good, happy stuff. Like when I bring in people that talk about social work and stuff like that. I don't know where everyone went. Maybe they were over. Maybe I had them over on my Feel Good University and I just knocked them out. Scout says, I will be listening as I am walking. Oh, your 3 puppies. It's okay. You're walking your 3 babies. That's more important. But thank you for listening. The page is black and says visit advertisers and won't go back. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Is the child lives, it's a lifelong. I know if the child lives, it's a lifelong sentence for them. I know, it just makes me so mad. In my background, my first job in social work was for foster care. I was the social worker for foster care children. And yeah, I had a family that it was just, the neighbor did it to the son, the 14-year-old, and the 14-year-old did it to the 3-year-old. And it was just like, just a lifelong, like those 2 boys were going to have to deal with that for the rest of their lives. And one was becoming a perpetrator because it kills their souls. It I'm not saying all children become that if that happens to them, but it's a cycle. From my experience. And this is just all my opinion. I urge you to go out there and do your own research on this stuff. Did I miss something about the page? Is my page not showing up, or I don't understand? Let me go look at because StreamYard has been giving fits lately. It's even been giving me warnings about not enough whatever to show my content. And it asked me to not use a movable background, but I thought I'd try it anyway. But if you're having a hard time, I can change the background. I am a firm believer of our traditional system that you are innocent until proven guilty. But when it comes to this POS, he should and will rot for eternity. I mean, it's on the phone. He's got the evidence on the phone. We at least know yes, this POS. There's a special place in hell for him. Yeah. And I suspect for the mom too. We can't prove the mom, but the mom seems very sus to me as well. You lost me twice? Is anyone else having that problem? Because I don't know if it's your connectivity or if it's mine. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep going. So he was in court. He's going to be able to have a felt pen, but he has some kind of leg brace on. This was when the trial was going to be delayed. I want to take a look at it and see what they were talking about leading up to it. Like I said, I am very behind on this case. So you guys are probably more ahead than I am. So all this week, I'm going to be trying to do lives and putting out videos to try to get caught up so that I can be caught up, because I like to be on top of these things. And I really do like to follow the Florida cases. They're always very interesting. Sarah Boone, for example, very interesting.
It's unusual that the court doesn't defer to a joint motion to continue. Under this case, I'm a little, I need some additional information as to the grounds opposed to the following.
So he was obviously asking for a trial delay, and that didn't happen. But what was his reasoning on the trial delay?
I understand that, number one, this is that the assistant state attorneys are in high demand, and unfortunately they have a lot of cases that are pending. I also am mindful of the fact that the orders on the motion to suppress came out close in time to the pretrial. I'll note that it'll be about 3 full weeks until we selected a jury on this case. Based on those factors, the motion to continue, is going to be denied. I will make concessions to when the trial will begin. I think I'd like to begin jury selection on July 22nd. Potential opening statements would, depending on jury selection, be on the 25th with either the presentation of evidence in an order that accommodates unavailability of witnesses beginning that Friday or on Monday, July 28th.
Okay, that's the judge from the Stephan Sterns trials. The first one.
Guys, I will stop and start things and talk over it and maybe not read everything in its entirety, but I will put everything that we view over in the YouTube show notes. I do this for fair play use as well as to cite my sources.
Is now delayed. Stephan Sterns, you may recall.
This is an older one. I just wanted to figure out why he was trying, because I'm behind, why he was trying to delay it. Obviously, the judge is saying no, and they are going into picking a jury on the 22nd of July.
Accused of sexually assaulting, memorializing the sexual assaults of a little girl named Maddie Soto for years on his account and ultimately on his phone, then charged with her murder after she went missing and her body was found 20 miles from the home. So he's facing two cases, the sexual assault.
I sort of think that he is going to go to trial for this one to see how it goes, like to, dip his little toe, his little grummy toe into the water to see how it goes. And I imagine it's not going to go well. And then I bet he will do a plea deal for the actual murder trial. Oh, good. It's working for you, Crystal. Sabrina says, it happened to me at 14. I was a vigilant protester of children, but every time I think I'm over it, it hits me square in the face. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm really sorry. It shouldn't happen to anybody. And I'm really particularly shocked. Well, maybe not shocked, but like the amount of female teachers that are now coming out, and it's showing that they're abusing their male students. And there's research showing that it's particularly more harmful for a male to be abused at that age than a female, which I don't know. It could be more harmful, but I mean, it could at least be as equally harmful. That, have you noticed all the teachers that are coming out as of late with this? I just would be terrified to be a parent right now, and especially a parent if my child wasn't verbal. Oh, anyway, I worry for all of you guys. Hey, Jen. I'm okay. Hope you're doing okay. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. So yeah, I just really worry about, I don't know. I know it was always out there, but it just seems like it's getting worse, if that's possible.
For everything that was found on his phone that he memorialized in the first trial, with a life sentence at the end of that. Then following that, a murder trial, which is followed by a potential death sentence. Okay, that's what he's facing. So he had filed a motion to suppress all the evidence from the cell phone. It was denied. And once it was denied, then the prosecution and defense together were asking for a continuance.
Makes so much sense now. He wanted that stuff thrown out, and since it wasn't thrown out, then I'm not ready. I need to come up with another excuse.
Of that first trial. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why all of a sudden do we want to delay? What's going on? Now, the defense knows they have no defense. It's over, right? The only defense was not getting this information in front of the jury. It's getting in front of the jury all the pictures of the defendant and the little girl. Is he working on a deal? Is the state attorney working on a deal with Stephan Sterns? Is that possible?
I do wonder if a deal is. I still like. But I was wrong with the Jody. I keep calling her Judy. The Jody Huisentruit one. I was wrong. I was like, I don't think it's the most obvious person, and now I think it's the most obvious person. But I really do think he's going to dip his toe in for this one and then see how it goes. But maybe if they give him a good enough deal, he'd take it.
We're gonna have another one of these where we use the death penalty as a negotiating tool rather than as a punishment. Let's bring back in our think tank. Al Wants the Third is with us. Jennifer Brandt.
I'm so sorry that happened to you, Sabrina. I just a few years ago got very ill and trusted my mother and her husband to help me out and to take care of me. And he started abusing me and I wasn't believed. And that totally changes your life forever when you are not believed in something so huge as that. So I'm really sorry. But I will say that I have taken that moment in my life and it's become my strongest moment. It is my strength because I no longer care if anybody believes me. I don't need to be believed to be true to my heart. So I hope that you have taken that moment in your life and made it into your strength somehow.
Darnell Crossland, do you smell something funny going on here, Jennifer?
I certainly do, Vinny. I think they're definitely working on a deal because, like you said, he has no defense now. The pictures are out there. We know what he did. It's on his phone. It's memorialized. So what is he going to say? Someone else put them there. They're fake. I mean, there's not much he can say. So, maybe they're working on a deal overall to try to
wrap it all up, right? Wrap up the murder and the years and years and years of sexual assault of this little girl.
Just like we saw in Idaho. I mean, I don't think it's much different. We just saw this happen. It's probably they're taking one out of that playbook and trying to work out a deal for him.
Yeah, I mean, both sides here, Al, we're asking for this continue.
What do you guys think? Do you think a plea deal is going to be worked out? Do you think this is going to be another Idaho 4 where we're all ready and then all of a sudden they pull the rug out from underneath us? Although, I mean, I don't really think like with Stephan is the same as the Idaho 4 because, I mean, this isn't on the D penalty. And everyone pretty much knows he did it. Most definitely it's made you a stronger person. Get it, girl. I'm so happy. That's all we can do is turn it into a strength or it'll destroy you. So you got two choices.
It wasn't just the defense, both sides. Usually that this date has been set. The judge did not give the full continuance. He only gave a week. What are your thoughts about what's going on here? Is it really just time to prepare for this trial?
It's definitely they're coming up with some sort of a universal settlement to this matter. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that that's what they're doing. If they were not doing that, the prosecution would not be consenting or making a joint application for the extension. Obviously, they don't have a problem putting forward their case in the sexual assault aspect of this with the phone coming in. I mean, the case is solid, but the question is on the next aspect, the murder case, whether or not, there may be some cause for pause that they may be having, that they're saying, you know what, we can wrap this whole thing up. We can get a guilty plea in both, and then we can move on. So I think that may be the situation in here in this instance.
Darnell.
Definitely would be the cheaper way that the state could go just to wrap them both up. I just can't imagine Stephan's going to want all his his all the bad stuff that he's done, like all the stuff he did with Maddie out there, all the stuff that's on his phone. It sounds like there's just like a lot of stuff.
The first charges are a life sentence. I don't know what his defense is. Like, they're going to take the images from his phone and let the jury look at them, and it's a little girl being sexually assaulted, both in still images and videos, and it's his phone, it's his genitalia, and it's a little girl, and it's over the course of years. Life sentence. If he gets an offer of a life sentence or 2 consecutive life sentences, I don't know how he could turn it down. Like, because at the other end is the death sentence. Do you think there is a potential deal at work here?
Well, there's always a potential deal at work. The prosecutors,
no, not if you have a prosecutor who believes in using the death penalty for punishment rather than for a tool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of these prosecutors.
Everybody's really bitter about the Idaho 4 case because that's exactly what that prosecutor did. And I think it's bullshit.
We've covered this on these shows where the prosecutors will start to negotiate and not man up and take it straight to the gate, as they say. In this particular case, first of all, let's not get confused with a motion to suppress to say that because that was denied, that means everything is coming in. Because as lawyers, and as a prosecutor, you have to be able to move evidence in, and that takes some skill in how you move it in, when you move it in. So just because the judge didn't suppress it doesn't mean it's going.
Guys, this is a morning or daytime live, and I thought I had the little bird situated in the shower, but he's done showering. So we now have a little bird joining the conversation. He wants to put his 2 tweets in. Did you take a shower? You can't bite that. It's okay. It's okay. Do you want a snuggie snuggie? Can you say hi? Can you say hi? Yes. Yes? What do you want? You want tweets? No? Yes. Yes. You know that word. He knows yes and no. And he knows okay too. He says so many words. What? Anyway, we've got the little bird on the scene with us. So if you hear a little Mickey Mouse voice in the background, birds like to flock talk. So he'll stop talking when I stop talking, and he'll talk when I talk. So that's the June bug.
To be moved in, right? And so when the judge says, listen, I'm going to, it's unusual to deny a joint application for continuance. He said that. He said, but I'm going to do it, and I'll give you some trial concessions later. He's saying that I don't like what's happening here either. We're going to move this thing either to a settlement or we're going to try this case, but I'm not going to have you guys cozying up and doing some things that I don't support. So that's what I got from that. Now, in terms of whether in fact there's negotiation here, the death penalty is the ultimate. And a lot of people politically don't like it. Al doesn't like it. So if they can say, hey, you're going to die or you're going to take life in jail, it is a a negotiating tool. And so they can do a global dispo for the murder, and that one life is one life. These pleas where you have or sentences where you have 10 lives just don't make any sense. You only get one. So a natural life is, if he gets that, that's it. Not the 40 or 60-year life that some state has.
No, this is real. You do the time in Florida. Florida, unlike other states, you do the time. You get the sentence.
I didn't realize that life wasn't actually, well, I only realized it the other day when I heard the Gypsy Rose case, that, life isn't life. Life would be 30 years. And 85, they're only allowed to make you serve 85% of it if you don't get life. So I mean, it's just ridiculous, the terminology, but it is what it is.
Do the time. Al, you were scowling, I believe.
No, it's scowling only because this aspect of it. I mean, it is a tool, and it is a tool that should be used effectively. And if you can guarantee that there's going to be no appeals and nothing else down the line, then they've got this man locked up forever, and he's gone and he's done. Okay. It is a worse situation to be sitting in that prison than even a death penalty in some instances, especially when you have that kind of crime against a small child. He's going to be very popular in general population. Yeah. So under the circumstances, you know what? I would be, if I was him, I'd be asking for the death penalty.
Actually, that's a good point. I think I would be wanting the death penalty because at least, although there is Wade Wilson, he got his face beat in on being on death row. So I guess you still get, attacked on, and the guards are going to be attacking him too. Don't believe that the guards won't be attacking him, because they will be.
Other than living what he's going to be living for the rest of his life.
Jennifer Brandt, I got to give you the last 10 seconds.
Thanks, Vinny. I don't agree with Al there. I mean, the death penalty is death, and this little girl is never coming back. So, I mean, he can go to prison, and there are people that manage very well, it appears, in prison, and they still have a life, and they still can learn and do things, and create things.
I mean, that's a good point. At least he's managing. At least he's allowed to live in prison. But I don't know. If I had to live in prison for life, I don't know. I think. I hope I never have to be in a position like that. But would you guys, do you feel like he deserves to be put to death, or do you think prison is where he should stay for the rest of his life? It should be a plea, but he's a narcissist and he'll take it all the way. You think he's going to take it all the way? I don't know him well enough. I haven't paid enough attention to him yet to gauge that. I know that he's very immature and he collected items that would appeal to preteens and teens. Here we have a News 6 media coverage rule set for Stephan Sterns' upcoming trial. 39-year-old accused of raping and unaliving Maddie Soto. Stephan Sterns, who is accused. Oh, I already read that. Sterns is facing 2 separate criminal cases, a first-degree murder trial, which is scheduled for September, and an actual battery trial, which is expected to begin July 22nd. During the hearing at the Osceola County Courthouse, a judge addressed 3 motions, including the motion to allow Sterns to appear in court without handcuffs, and a motion regarding media coverage of the actual battery trial. The motion to remove Sterns' restraints during proceedings was partially granted. Sterns will wear a hidden leg brace restricting movement, but he is allowed to use a felt tip pen during the trial, which makes no sense. So he can stab the people around him, but he can't run. The judge also ordered media to follow Florida Rule of Judicial Administration 2450, emphasizing no zooming in on defense computer screens. Oh, that's smart. The motion to remove newspapers from the courthouse lobby during Sterns' trial was also granted. Oh, really? Sterns, 39, has pleaded not. What is the reasoning of having not newspapers in there? Oh, so that Sterns can't see what's happening on the pages of the newspapers. Sterns, 39, has pleaded not guilty to raping and murdering Soto, who was the daughter of Sterns' former girlfriend. Have we heard much from Jennifer lately? Soto was reported missing on February 26, 2024, after she failed to show up for class at Hunter Creek Middle School. Sterns told police he drove Soto to school that morning. While searching for Soto, investigators said they uncovered images of Sterns on Sterns' phone and Google Drive that showed him raping the teen. Authorities found Soto's body 4 days later in a wooded area near St. Cloud. The teen had been strangled to death, the medical examiner determined. In his first trial, Sterns is facing 60 criminal charges, including battery on a child under the age of 12, lewd and lascivious M-word, and unlawful possession of materials depicting performances by a young person. Prosecutors told the judge the state could call up to 12 witnesses during the trial and expect their presentation to take about 4 days. Oh, only 4 days? That's not very long, is it? Maybe I should plan going the first. No, because the first few days will be getting the jury together, but opening statements might be good. I'll play it by ear. He's a huge mama's boy. I have really done deep dives in this case and believe Jen Soto introduced him to the behavior and, encouraged him to control him. Are you following it on your case, Sabrina? Do you have a channel? Because I would love to. I'll pop over and check your channel out. Madeline Soto case, Stephan Sterns allowed to wear suit at the trial. So they're going to let him dress up in big people clothes. Stephan Sterns will be allowed to wear civilian clothing and have his hands free during his upcoming trial. Sterns is facing 60 counts. We already read that. Orlando, Florida. Stephan Sterns, the man accused of abusing and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto, was in court on Monday for a pretrial. On Monday, lawyers for Sterns in the state worked with the judge to set various conditions for a trial, including that Sterns can wear and if he would be in handcuffs or not. So he's not going to be in handcuffs. He got that taken away. Sterns will be able to wear a suit during the trial, and he will not have to wear his prison uniform. I mean, but that's pretty standard. They actually, I remember with the God, his name just flew right out of my head. He was the guy that drove down the parade, and you know him. Oh God, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, he tried to come to court not wearing civilian clothes, and they ejected him because they want you to wear it because they don't want, the jury to be biased. So I don't think that's a big win at all. He will not have handcuffs. Do they usually They usually don't have handcuffs either. He will not have handcuffs around his wrist. However, he will have to wear ankle stun cuffs, which seems pretty standard these days. He will be allowed to sit at the table with his attorneys. Again, that's pretty standard. And he'll be allowed to use a felt tip pen. I don't know if that's standard, but I see people writing a lot. So maybe he gets to use a pen and not a pencil. The defense previously asked the judge to close all pretrial hearings. That motion was denied. Fox 35 plans to stream the trial of Stephan Sterns. Gavel to gavel, download so they're going to be streaming it. Stephan Sterns was the live-in boyfriend of Jennifer Soto, Madeline Soto's mom. He lived with a teenager, her mom, and a third roommate, officials said. Sterns told detectives that he was tasked with driving Soto to school on the day she was reported missing. However, when her mom went to pick her up, she learned from school officials that Soto was not at school that day, prompting an immediate search for her. I mean, was it immediate? The mom didn't even look that upset when the police were at the door. I don't know. The mom is really the only person that I've truly looked into in this case. I haven't even really looked too much into Stephan. So this week we will look into everybody. Madeline was a student at Hunters Creek Middle School in Orlando. She lived with her mom, Sterns, an adult roommate in Kissimmee. After a 5-day frantic search, Soto's body was found on March 1st in a grassy field in a remote part of Osceola County. A medical examiner would determine that Soto died by taking the air from her. I thought we would look at a few channels to see what they're saying on the case. You don't have a channel, but you followed 3 or 4 channels that do nothing but Stephan Sterns. Oh, well, what channels are those? Because some creators don't like to look at anything that other people are doing, but I like to know what's out there, what people are saying, and then make up my own decision. I like to have all sides and then decide, but some people just want to make up their own decisions, which either way, but I would like to know who these channels are. You've read all his emails and heard all of his conversations. Jen had this thing that she would do crafting with Wade Wilson, and she would do a few crafts and listen to Wade Wilson phone calls. And I think I might do that with the Stephan Sterns. There's a few crafts that I want to work on, some Halloween crafts and some other things some dragonfly crafts that I want to work on because I am going to have a birthday celebration for the channel in October, and I want to be able to give things away and stuff. So, but this Gavin Fish, I do like him generally. So I thought we would take a look and see what he's saying about the case. And then I also have the reporter room that we were going to look at.
The whole shebang, okay? The treasure hunt is a hunt
Hold on a second.
for links, what you do, the first thing you do is you register your email address by clicking on this button. There's a link to this down below, by the way. You click on the
Sorry, guys. I felt like I had to sneeze real quick. Okay, let me get it forward where he's talking about Maddie.
Maddie Soto here. Okay, Madeline Soto is a 13-year-old girl. She had just turned 13. This was in February of 2024. On the 26th of February 2024.
I think Maddie looks just like Jen, a more beautiful version of Jen, and I think that killed Jen because Maddie, she got the white Anglo-Saxon looking looks. She got the blonde hair, but she looks a lot like Jen to me, and I think that drove Jen crazy that Maddie looked like her but more beautiful.
Or Madeline did not show up for school. Her mother's on again, off again boyfriend, a man named Stephan Sterns, this guy right here, claimed that he had taken Madeline to school that morning, but upon investigation, something nefarious was afoot. It did not take long.
You know, that reminds me, I'm not going to read that out loud, Amanda, but that reminds me of what the Duggar kid was doing to his brothers and sisters. I'm so sorry that that happened to you.
Police to find, according to them, evidence that he had been essaying poor little Madeline for 5 years, doing the quick math. That is since the time she was 8 years old. And it was.
I never had to endure the ex abuse of that. It's just been a physical and mental abuse for me. So I do consider myself very lucky.
It wasn't long after that her body was discovered and he was charged in her murder. And there are 2 cases against Mr. Sterns right now. The first one is the SA case where he is facing 60 counts. There's always a link down below, by the way, to the Osceola County courthouse where you can find this stuff. But yeah, he's got 60 counts against him. And look, the jury trial is scheduled for the 22nd of July. Earlier today, there was a hearing. We're going to go over that hearing together. I'm
going to move it forward.
Defense's witness like to proceed on the defense's motion to order all media to adhere to the rules of judicial administration and administrative order. Essentially, Judge, defense is asking, according to, as the rules require, that the media, and since defense is on the left side of this courtroom and the media is positioned directly behind us, their cameras, intentionally and inadvertently, I'm not saying that they're doing it intentionally, it's focused on counsel's table in order to get news of Mr. Sterns of that nature. So in positioning, counsel's computer screens are in view of the media. So defense is requesting that the media not be allowed to look at, zoom in on, or otherwise project essentially onto counsel's table because of work product and attorney-client confidentiality. I understand that attorney-client confidentiality, we have to essentially affirmatively attempt to protect it. And when we have communications, we do mute the mic. However, because the table is so large and spacing.
Oh, is that how Jen looks so young? Because I thought Jen looked really, really young, that she was getting Botox. Yep. I mean, when I heard that Maddie was on sleeping pills and she was only 13 years old, my antenna went up. Like, a 13-year-old on sleeping pills, really?
It's just asking the media not be ordered, not be allowed to zoom in on our computers or our computer screens. Under the administrative order, it says that communications between attorneys and their clients, between counsel and co-counsel, or anything that's held at the bench is required not to be recorded or broadcasted. So because it's positioned that anything that is occurring essentially at counsel's table in terms of notes, whether that be handwritten notes or computer screen notes, not be looked at. It has taken affirmative steps to have a privacy screen and additionally dimming the lighting on the laptops. However, even with that, it still is doable for the media, and sitting in court with dim screen and dark nights for multiple hours is going to cause headaches, but also to protect not only Mr. Sterns' confidentiality, but potential other clients' information who we're working on while hearing court. The media not be allowed to look at, zoom in on computers or counsel's materials.
So, I mean, I hate to like,
what did she just say? I couldn't even understand her because of the echo in the courtroom, I guess.
Restate this because it's pretty darn obvious, but her argument is, hey, I would like an order that media in the gallery not shine or not point their cameras to our work product, our laptops, our table, and so forth. This seems like it could be easily remedied. I mean, the state of Florida is pretty amazing when it comes to openness in public meetings and having the media present in public meetings. It seems like they could just provide video from the court that does not point those things. But I mean, I don't think that this is a request that's unreasonable.
The state doesn't have a position. However, I think if the court is going to issue,
I completely think it's reasonable not to want the media to see what you're working on at your desk. So yeah,
an order, it needs to be to everybody in the courtroom, not just specifically media personnel.
Oh,
yeah, fair enough.
Really?
Thank you, Christy.
Well, in terms of media personnel or anyone not being able to.
There's a lot of.
Do you think that any repercussions are going to come to Jen, or do you think she's going to get off scot-free?
Amateur media people that will cover this trial, and they use phones from my experience in other high profile trials. So the order should be broad enough that it covers everybody in the courtroom, perhaps even an order that people in the gallery should not be allowed to have their phones out during the trial. Yeah. Sometimes they need daily reminders, sometimes they need multiple daily reminders, but they also focus on the state's computer, and we are obviously against that for the same reasons.
I mean, that sounds
Relationship
like
with
a
media has,
solution.
been a good
No
one there.
phones,
Essential community partner.
no picture.
Jennifer, I'm sorry, Joy. I think Jennifer, if she's being called as a witness in this case, she won't be in the gallery until after she gives her testimony, after which she would have every right to be there. I don't know if she will.
As I said, the court's going to strive to ensure that this is
I don't think she's strong enough to bring her ass in there and sorry, I'm swearing too much, to bring her tushy in there and sit in the courtroom. I don't think she has that strength.
so it's an open trial and fair trial. The days of passing notes back and forth are behind us. A little experience working with each of the attorneys here. I know that your coordination with witnesses, with each other, with presentation, with evidence is highly computerized. The court will expect that the media will comply with Florida Rule of Judicial Administration 2.450, as well as our Administrative Order 2023-23. That order is fairly specific under subsection 2E, indicates that representatives may not cover sidebar or bench conferences, no recordings of conferences or information that occurs between attorneys and their clients, between co-counsel, between counsel and the presiding judge held at the bench. I've done several trials where the media was involved. The only violations of 2.450 in our administrative order, in my opinion, have been inadvertent. Those inadvertent issues were when a camera operator perhaps went to a wide shot that included faces of the jurors during the trial, or there was a microphone that was inadvertently picking up communications through the microphones at counsel table after the microphones had been apparently muted by the attorneys. These are technical issues. We have a technical team here that the media is absolutely welcome to coordinate with. The administrative rule gives media an opportunity to meet with our court administration if they have any questions about what the court's expectations will be. The court will expect that media representatives will be credentialed pursuant to the rule. Non-credentialed members will not be permitted to have out cell phones as members of the general public. So I see no issue with the defense's request to have the media comply with the rules that are already in place.
Has Jen given any interviews, like any media interviews, other than, when she was interviewed by the police? I haven't really seen her. I haven't seen Jen. She's like disappeared, hasn't she?
Motion is granted. If representatives of the media have specific questions, they may contact my office. I will direct them to our court administration personnel. We'll provide a copy of
I don't.
The administrative rule, which I'm sure they are most familiar, and judicial rule, Florida Rule of Judicial Administration. So the court will expect that will be scrupulously followed in an effort not to impede the fairness of these proceedings.
And then the last one is physical restraints, utilization of normal work.
Okay, I literally cannot understand or hear that prosecutor or I'm sorry, his defense attorney. All right, let's keep going. Let's go over to the reporter room and see what they're saying.
Other trial for the murder of Madeline Soto will occur in the fall, but the opening statements for this trial, we're going to have jury selection July 22nd, but the opening statements begin July 25th. So that would be the day I would televise it. So let's, before we deep dive this, I may have some people that aren't familiar with who I am in this channel because maybe you know this case.
Okay, let's keep going.
As evidence in his upcoming trial, according to the new ruling by the
Yeah,
Austrian
I guess that would make sense that she did Botox because she just has no wrinkles.
judge. Now, Stephan Sterns' cell phone and Google Drive will be allowed at the trial. And this reportedly has very concerning images of Maddie. So both of the cases of the images on the cell phone versus the doing away with Maddie, those are being tried separately. So who is Stephan Sterns? Well, he was the boyfriend of Jennifer Soto, who you can see here on your screen. Let me pull up Stephan. So this was her boyfriend, her on again, off again boyfriend. Jennifer lived with her daughter, Maddie, and Maddie was found on March 1st of 2024, 5 days after she was reported missing. Now, Stephan Sterns was not in court, so we got kind of something similar to what we saw in the Adam Montgomery, Harmony Montgomery trial, right? Where the guys refusing to attend. He wasn't in court for the pretrial hearing. However, his attorneys were, and the prosecutors were.
This was 6 days ago, so this was the one just before the one that we just watched.
Now, they were trying to suppress, the defense team, the evidence that was found on Stephan Sterns' cell phone. They, of course, do not want that to come in, but the judge has over.
And that didn't work.
He'll sleep in the guest bedroom.
Okay.
She believed Sterns was guilty of. She said, he's been SAing my child. So I do think there's a lot of things that are disturbing, in my opinion, on her.
Tuesday, February 27th.
Oh, there's tons of disturbing stuff on Jen Soto.
24-0113.
We actually, Jen is the one that we've done like 3 lives on, and we also did a live with Alora from Into the Weeds. We covered a little bit about Maddie because she's knows quite a bit about this case as well.
Can you state your full name?
Jennifer Lisette Soto.
All right, Jennifer. So I'm here to talk to you today. We're going to talk about, and you're familiar with kind of why we're talking right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me when is the last time you were with
Saw her, I'm going to say Sunday night.
Okay.
I heard her one day getting ready for school.
So you last saw her Sunday night about what time?
Did she come back and finally admit that she was lying about hearing her get ready for school? Because there's no possible way.
I'll say 11 p.m. before she went to bed.
And you were here at home? Gotcha. And where did she go to bed? Was she in her room, your room, or something else?
She actually slept upstairs with
what you doing?
We have a guest bedroom. We were all going to sleep together in the same bed, but
Mommy's almost done, baby.
And
Mommy's almost done.
We were all going to sleep together in the same bed, but I needed some good sleep.
Welcome to the Dragonflies.
I got a new job recently. I haven't been well rested. I needed some sleep. So I asked, hey, can you guys go to the guest bedroom upstairs? I knew he was going to get her ready. And
Sorry. Okay. So you needed some good sleep. So was it about 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not say I feel like there was huge shade there. So you needed some good sleep. So you sent your daughter up to sleep with your boyfriend. Okay.
Sent them upstairs and I went to bed.
She sent them upstairs. So she made her daughter do this, in my opinion.
Because she needed good sleep, dude.
And that was about 11.
You would too. Ugh.
And do you guys normally all sleep together? Because I know you said that she sleeps in your room with you typically, right?
She sleeps with me typically. Typically when he comes into town, because he lives with his parents in Northport, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to town, he'll sleep in the guest bedroom.
Okay.
You know, I was thinking in growing up, I had a stepdad, and my mom met my stepdad when I was like, I would say, well, I was in the 2nd grade, and there was never one time in my entire life. I mean, she married him. I was married to him until he died just before I got married. There was not one day in my life that I ever was asked to or told to or ever had to sleep in the bed with my stepfather. It just never happened. It just never, ever, ever happened, nor why would it? It just makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense because, ugh. I mean, I'm sure you guys know why it makes no sense, and I don't need to say because. That's why I stopped.
And Stephan is the one you're referring to, right?
Yeah, Stephan.
Stephan, how often does he stay here?
Oh, he moved away back in December, so I'm going to say he's visited at least 2 to 3 times since then.
Okay. Why did he move away?
He was offered a better, well, his dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Oh,
so now we're trying to get him back here.
And he just visits?
Yeah.
When he visits, does he stay for like hours, days, weeks?
I would say days. This time we had planned on him staying a whole week because I was going through training at work. So I wanted him to be here to help me with the dog, help me with the training.
Okay, so this time he was planning to stay for a week. How long has he been here?
So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just wanted to play that little.
So it seems to me that YouTubers and live streamers are just kind of doing what I'm doing, just getting us all caught up on the case, going over the basics and just trying to figure it out. CourtTV has everything from, you know, when the story broke on what's the first? In March 1st, Madeline Soto's body found after mother's boyfriend charged, all the way up here to Stephan Sterns' pretrial hearing in child X abuse case on July 15th. So we're going to be going through all of this. I do like to go through a lot of CourtTV. If you have a particular part aspect of this case that you want me to look into first, let me know and I'll do that. I'll probably throw up maybe a poll sometime today if you want to go over to my community section. And I've been wanting to do more daytime lives, so maybe each morning or something I'll pop on with a new Maddie Soto so that we'll be all caught up. So you want me to look into like what happened that morning? Do you want me to look into more in Jen? That's very interesting what you said about thinking that Jen was selling the photos for her Botox. That's very alarming and disgusting. And do you want me to do that thing that I mentioned about crafting, doing some crafts and listening to the Stephan Stern jailhouse interviews, or do you like all of the above? Just let me know because I want to make you guys happy. And either way, this case is interesting. So I don't really care where I dive back in. I feel like we could dive back in together. And be sure to let me know, Sabrina, what channels that you like to watch, because maybe I'll like them too. Amanda Franks says it's just horrible what JS allowed to to happen to her poor daughter. It just makes me want to, I don't know. I just feel like she needs to have some kind of accountability, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, she was. She had a really sick relationship with her daughter, but I think that unfortunately that's a lot of mothers do. People just assume people know how to parent, and it's actually a learned thing. Like a lot of it's learned. So crafting with true crime sounds fun. People just assume that it's innate in you, especially women, that they know how to mother, and it's just not. So I would suspect that maybe Jen's mother didn't quite know how to mother. Also, it's been that Jen has a substance abuse issue, and that makes people very selfish. So we all know that Jen was very selfish. So okay, guys, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and do this update and let you know that we will be covering this case. Hopefully it does go to trial. I mean, I don't know, like hopefully it does go to trial, because we want Maddie to get justice. So I just hate that, like, I just hate that her memory has to be soiled, but he's already done that to her. So now we're going for justice. So, and I do hope to go to the trial a few days for you guys. So, yeah. I hope that you guys will give this live a thumbs up. Be sure to share it. YouTube is really trying to roll out their community section. You can now post to creators' YouTube community pages if you're using your phones. You can post directly. You can like upload your own photos and stuff to like you can upload your photos to the Power Network. I don't know if I have it set where I have to approve it or not, but yeah. So if you have anything you want to add to my network, if any of the cases you want to throw something up there, you see a news story or something like that, I am open for it, you guys. I want us to have a community, a power community. So, okay, guys, I'm going to head out. I did put up the Dragonfly membership. The Dragonfly membership is our membership program over on YouTube. It's $2.99 a month. I release videos early to the Dragonflies. I release lives and videos for the Dragonflies. I do more personal stuff. If you want to know a little bit about me, I will sometimes talk in the mornings down at my meditation spot. Stuff like that. It's just a way to support me and a way that I can support you with a little added content. It's $2.99 a month. I will put the link down in the YouTube show notes, and it also is over here in chat. It's up on screen. So we would love to have you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Crystal Burns. So good to see you again. I'm glad you're a Dragonfly again. Sabrina, I'm not sure if I've met you. I don't think I have, but it's so good to meet you. Amanda Franks, I don't, you are a new face to me too. So welcome, guys. Jen, thanks for popping in. And if I forgot anybody or I missed anyone, I am so sorry. Hi to everybody out in the nether regions just listening. Thank you for doing that. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you guys this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. All right, guys. So before we get started, if we can do that algorithm dance party that I like to do, to start warming up your fingers and dancing them right up to the hearts and thumbs up button. We're coming to you today on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Hey, y'all. How you doing? Giving me the thumbs up just helps us dance out into the algorithm, party out there, find more interesting people, bring them back to our safe space where we like to have a lot of fun. We have a lot of snark, but we do it in a way that is all kind and respectful to one another, I would say.
I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me.
Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight, and it feels fine. Feels fine. Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight. Here in the blue, I'm dancing and falling out, hoping for some time with you.